Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Nasser Deeb. I'm the show director of Halal Expo Canada 2021. Today, I'm honored and excited to have a good friend of mine and a great scholar and a community leader who's also the chairman for advisory committee of Halal Expo Canada, and also happens to be the president of Centre For Halal Accreditation Research and Training chart, which is something we're going to be talking about today, and how this initiative has been going about. And also, as you know, a lot of people know that Dr. Slimi also holds multiple roles in the community and to help this community enhance its standard and go to the next level. Dr. Salimi, welcome to this event, webinar event hosted by Halal Expo, and we thank you for your time, and we appreciate us coming to this webinar today. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for having me. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, Dr. Salimi, I know you've been telling me about so many things since the inception of Halal Expo, that you had a vision in how to unify and how to make things happen for our community and our halal industry market. It's something that will kind of streamline the process and streamline all the efforts of all the companies and all associations. So I've been now hearing that you finally reached that goal, and you are now ready to talk about it, and already talking to so many people. So I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to dive into this right away with you. And I will also, first, before we jump into that, which is very important to us to know, to our listeners and our followers, I wanted to know a bit about your involvement in the halal lifestyle industry before this came about. Like how this transformed, because what was your involvement initially in the halal lifestyle industry?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Well, as a Muslim, I am involved. All of us should be involved in the halal. But to be specific, when it comes to the halal industry, being imam for the last 25 years plus, we are involved in whether certification or question and answer. I come from Islamic law or fiqh background that deals with the halal and haram. And halal haram is our life. As you presented yourself in your last show, and you are, as we together around the world spoke about, when we go to halal expos, we're not talking about food. For simple-minded person, think halal means halal food, zabiha. For us, halal food is only probably 20% of the industry. We talk about finance, we talk about tourism, we talk about hotels and transportation, we talk about Islamic schools, we're talking about universities, we're talking about accreditation of Islamic programs, we're talking about many things. Halal is not. So my involvement first, when I became the chairman of the Canadian Council of Imams back in 2006, I gathered everyone in the field of halal and said, let's do something when it comes to standardization. And since then, we worked with CFIA, which is Canadian Food Inspection Agency, to make it a law, to make it a policy that everyone who says or claims to sell halal must be certified. And alhamdulillah, as you heard the news back in 2014, it was announced that effective April 4th, 2016, nobody can sell anything without being certified. So half of the problem was solved. That's for the food, which honestly is not the biggest problem. The big problem is there are people who are selling mortgages and saying that they have halal mortgage. And then later we realize there is nothing halal about it and people are being fooled. Whereas there are sincere people who are trying to redefine the halal alternative. And there are, I know them, they're working hard, and they're working within the limits of the Islamic teachings, working with the traditional mortgage, institutions. And when they couldn't work with them because it's riba-based, non-halal or haram-based, they moved into halal options. And Allah opened the doors through credit unions, through different things. We're also working with insurance companies. How can we, and insurance industry is, if you want to talk about haram, That's where the haram really, more than anything else. We talk about fashion. We talk about cosmetics. We talk about medicine. These days, I'm making most of my talk of halal, not about the food. It's about the vaccine. Not only is vaccine halal or haram, what are the ingredients of the vaccines? We're talking. So we need a lot of research. So a few years ago, we established this idea, but now recently we established a group of scholars, Majlis al-Fiqh or Fiqh Majlis, made of scholars, reputable, known to you and many people. And we said, let's address some of these issues and give guidelines. And actually, we're currently working with not only fiqh scholars, but also what we call subject experts. And these subject experts, basically, they address their field. So if it's food industry, we have a food scientist. If it's food inspection, we had a person with experience working with OMAFRA, Ontario, or working with CFIA, working with FDA in the US. So basically we're catering also for the US, like you have a lot of clients in the US as well. So the idea is there is a vacuum to be filled. And I'll talk more when you ask me about chart, but I don't want to get into the chart. But to just finish the answer for your first question, the example of food, for instance, okay, who certifies the certifiers? Is there a body that is non-profit, which is not affected by business, which is not affected by politics, which is a watchdog or the accreditor without having money involved, because money is evil. And how can we do it? So we came up with, alhamdulillah, with the help of the scholars and subject experts, a non-profit organization that will actually do it, inshallah, to protect the halal. When I say halal, I'm not talking about halal food only. I'm talking about all the fields I mentioned. Right now, currently, we're working with accreditation of Islamic schools.
MashaAllah.
What makes them Islamic or halal? That's what you have in your expo. Islamic schools can come to your expo.
Yes,
because they are different. What sets them from regular schools is the halal component. Halal environment, halal this, halal that, halal food being served, education that is halal. It's big. This is bigger than what people want to midgetize. I use the word midgetize. They want to midgetize halal. Halal is bigger. And that's what basically we're all about.
That's true. And this is what my second question will come about is, how do you perceive the halal industry growth in Canada, and what do you think must be achieved to further elevate it? Like, from your perspective, as you said, you've been involved in so many aspects of the halal industry. How do you see the growth and how it's happening?
It is an imminent growth. Imminent growth. Why? The Muslim population is growing. We're around 1.4, 1.5 million in this country. Some exaggerate, but let's go with the stats, official stats. Some say 2 million, but let's say 1.5 million. And then in America, there is 8-9 million Muslim. Muslims in the West are, scattered, some say almost 75 million in Europe and North America. If you add other minorities, we are 35 to 40% of the Muslim world. We are the big minority. You know that Muslim countries, which are members of OIC, they are, around 55 countries. They are the 45% of the Ummah. Or let's say, even if we give them more, they are not 45. They're around 60%. The 40% are us who live as minorities. 35 to 40, so you have 65 to 35. Let's say just 35 to be more conservative. From Australia to New Zealand to the Asian countries to Europe to the Americas, Muslims are scattered everywhere. And that's that 35 plus the 65. It's growing. It's growing in the West, in the non-Muslim countries, and the Muslim population is growing. Number two is the Muslim community is growing here in Canada, but we're not organized. When it comes to halal and haram, there is a big confusion. So there should be, as Allah says, فَلَوْلَا نَفَرَ مِنْ كُلِّ فِرْقَةٍ مِّنْهُمْ طَائِفَةٌ لِيَتَفَقَّهُوا فِي الدِّينِ وَلْيُنْذِرُوا قَوْمَهُمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ إِذَا رَجَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَحْذَرُونَ. So there should be fiqh group. So that's why we have fiqh majlis. So the fiqh majlis is thinking, okay, it's growing, and the questions are growing, and the new generation, those born here, are asking questions which were never asked before. Even us, we need to update ourselves and learn. That's why we have the subject experts in finance, subject experts in all walks of life. And for the halal industry to grow, it has to grow also in its perspective and in its vision. And this is why the growth is imminent. There is no discussion about it's growing or not growing. It is growing. Nature of the community, nature of the ummah, we're growing. We're more than almost 2 billion now. So 2 billion, that's like 25% of the world population. Every 4 people is a Muslim, and it's growing, as you know. So eventually, we need to service. And the halal industry is not going to grow in the right direction if all the people, the business people, the people who are in the experts in halal and haram, the population, all of this have to come together in platform like yours, like the show that you're offering, because you're the one who is bringing everybody and making them to know it is the Mecca. You want to be the Mecca of the halal industry. And that's why we are supporting you, and we're supporting the work you're doing.
And thank you so much. And I think you rightfully put it, Dr. Salimi. I think the growth it's imminent, and also I see it around me when I walk around and I go to places, and I also talk to the business people. They said the lack of enough supplies because the demand is so high now, and that's the reason why we launched that event, to make sure that we cater to these areas of halal industry, halal products and services. And you're right about the growth of Muslims. I was invited to remember to Bangkok to attend the Islamic Council of Thailand conference, and I didn't believe that there were more than 14, 15 million Muslim in Thailand, and that's something to me was new, to know that Thailand has a lot of Muslims. So basically, this is all great, and I think we are facing a lot of growth, and I see it everywhere. I see the products available now in every place in Canada, even in Freshco. It becomes more and more. Even if I go to a smaller cities in Ontario, I still see halal section on the supermarket. I think this is something that I haven't seen when I was here like 10 years ago or 12 years ago. It wasn't even existing that much. Um, the other question I want to ask you, what did you think of our first? I know you mentioned that it was a great experience, but what did you think of the first edition of Halal Expo Canada, and what are you hoping to achieve as the chairman of the conference advisory committee from that platform that we are working on, helpfully, and it will be happening in 2021 this year?
Inshallah, inshallah. I think it's for the first time. It never happened. There were attempts. There is the halal food festival. What I like is that number one is we featured not only halal food, we featured clothing, medicine, cosmetics, financial services. We launched few things like it was a place where we launched our Ontario Muslim Chamber of Commerce, which was quite an achievement. We also had seminars where we enlightened people on issues. People, like I said, they midgetize the concept of halal. When they sit down after listening to us 15, 20 minutes, they say, oh, we never knew that halal is about lifestyle, is about, that's one thing which was done in many conferences, but in Canada was critical because the community doesn't have a leading force that shows there. So you played also a leadership in the halal industry. There is no body, what I mean by body here, an institution that really is catering for the halal industry. You're saying here is a platform, and also you oversaw, deals that were done between companies. That's something Muslims are not used to. You saw people that I never knew that there is halal organic. Uh, I heard of it, but never met the people. So I met a person who does halal organic. I took some products to home from there. So even a regular consumer would find in your Halal Expo a lot of, it will open your eyes. This is not a regular, you know, commercial or just like they say,
Consumer.
consumer to consumer. Or
It's a B2B, basically, yeah.
this is a business to business. But then the other aspect which goes, and that's why I'm very sorry that the pandemic postponed it, because we were all excited to have the second one, is to see and gauge how the B2B did. And we didn't have that chance. I know you're doing it, you're working hard remotely online, and you have some good news, but still physically meeting and see how to see two companies who met in the expo, how they work together. These are the things yet to see. Um, uh, for the first time, and having been in, you and I were in the last one in Turkey, I
Malaysia
mean,
as well.
proportionally speaking, and in Malaysia, proportionally speaking, I think it was a success. Undoubtedly, it was a success. You put a lot of work, yourself and your staff, your team. You did fantastic job. You were very professional time. I was impressed. Everything was smooth. But it's a pity for many businesses that didn't attend it because it's quite an investment, to be there. Halal industry is right now, honestly, right now the money isn't halal for
Yes.
investors because
Yes,
there is.
and Dr. Salimi, I think as you know that we are we proud ourselves as Canadian to have the first B2B halal expo in North America. Even US tried many attempts, and we are the only show that we can call it B2B in North America. And as you said, when we finished the show in October, uh, fortunately, because with the people, as you said, they saw the show, automatically they start renewing their contract, and we actually receive, even through the pandemic, we received some good new brand names in Canada and international. One of them is actually a franchise of halal that is coming from UK, the first time in North America to launch in our show, and that's something we're excited to see. So yes, you're right, but again, it's because of the pandemic, but we anticipated actually to even grow by 35%. And we were looking at more international company as we already had, but even more, we tied up with a lot. But it's not too late. We are still working on it. We are hoping to accomplish that with your support and the support of everybody in that industry. And I think you've been doing also great for us as far as um, uh, helping us spread the word and helping us with your advice and your consultation on getting this on the road. And that's what, and hopefully we will achieve more in the coming. And I think what we need to do is to focus more on as we discussed in our planning meeting, focus on other areas that of concern. And you have initiated this idea, which I really very excited about, and I think it's going to add more value to the existing efforts that's been done by a lot as HMA and other certification, ESNA and other people who are working hard and to achieve that. I think this will even add complement even more to the existing efforts. I wanted to ask you, this called Center for Halal Accreditation, Research, Training, and the abbreviation is CHART. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So now tell me about this new initiative you're creating and how this will be unifying all the efforts of our community in order to elevate the standards of our daily lifestyle here in Canada. How this will change, or how this will impact the existing efforts. I'm sure that you're because I know you're working with everybody. You're working with ISNA, you're working with every HMA, you're working with all these people. What is the concept and your objective, uh, and your team? I know you have also advisory with you. What is your objective from this, and what are you trying to achieve?
We are number one. The words, the name says it all. Is about accreditation, research, and training. Halal needs this three area. We need more accreditation. We need research, more research, and we need training. When we speak about accreditation, that's to give, to protect the halal brand from misuse. You know very well that halal, unfortunately, is misused. Uh, we are, we have become the laughing stock of many. We have, you can ask certifiers such as ISNA, HMA, and others. They'll tell you the fraud. There is a big fraud. Many people are fed haram food. And I'm not here to alarm, to be honest. People already know it, and many people don't want to know it because they say, you know, it's not our responsibility. But no, it is every Muslim responsibility to demand that the food should be certified. And also, they are asking who certified these certifiers. Because when the effective policy by CFIA became effective on April 4, 2016, it didn't say who can certify the certifiers. So it says the food should be certified. But what happened is some people started registering certification and they certify for themselves or for their brothers and sisters. You understand? So it's a joke. This is a real joke. We need people who can, you know, uh, 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 do it for the community, not for financial reason. Of course, whether they're going to get paid or not, that's a different issue. The issue is who is certifying the certifiers. You're an engineer. You are given your seal or architect, correct? You say this building meets the standards of the city and all the bylaws in this, and your customer is paying you. But who makes you an engineer? Who tells that? If I go to you, who gives you the seal? You are a member of Professional Engineer Association. You cannot give prescription and act as a doctor unless you belong to the College of medical doctors.
Yeah.
You can't practice unless you bring that. Who makes you halal certified?
So let me just put it in a simple way for me to understand better. In a simple format, it's basically you want to play as a regulator body. Is this what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Well, basically, by virtue of the fiqh majlis and the subjects, and of course community involvement, you know, we are becoming, and by virtue we are non-profit because we are an independent non-profit organization working with Muslim scholars of fiqh to act as a reference for all halal issues, food and beyond, on behalf of the halal consumers. So, and we are not going to be the product or under influence of any specific business or specific Islamic center or masjid organization. The goal is to work with all Muslims who are concerned about halal and haram matters. And I repeat, not only food, okay? And the focus is on three things: accreditation. Okay, you are saying your credit, we're going to see what standards you have. So that's why we're using professional standards, ISO, Intertac, and all of these international standards, which we drafted already and registered. In addition to that, we're using Islamic standards agreed upon by scholars of fiqh. So this is very important. And every community does that.
Also, I wanted to maybe elaborate further on this. So basically, what I understood, because I know you've been working with this for a long time. I know you traveled also when we were together in Turkey and Malaysia. You traveled to Indonesia and you did so much tie-ups with other people. So this is not going to be only done by people here in Canada. You are also working in partnership with other organization, global organization, and also the government of Ontario. Are you also going to get them involved in this and trying to engage?
No. Okay. So when it comes to halal or any religious practice, government cannot get involved, which is good. So government here, the people, we are not, our decisions are not, abiding. They're not like, enforced. They are decisions for the people who want halal and haram and they care. They're going to see the scholars saying, this facility is halal. Why? Because we audited, we found that it doesn't offer alcohol, it has, halal food, it has Islamic principles in this. So, and this is, by the way, and you said it right, we are still at the early stage. We have to work with countries like Malaysia, Turkey, Indonesia, and other Middle East countries, but mainly spearheading countries, as you know very well, are Turkey and Malaysia, because they've invested a lot. And also they're modern Muslim countries. They deal with Japan, Asia. The action, the main business is happening right now in Asia. China, Japan, Korea, all that part is half of the world is there, 3 billion and something there, just in that, you know. So those countries, they've done and they developed. So one of our, partners is Enhart, for instance, in Malaysia. They are actually experts in the halal industry. And they actually look at charts and they said, your model is a very good model needed all over the world, because wherever we go, there is always a business that wants to control, or somebody wants to control. This is a non-profit organization. We're not even charging money for accreditation.
Oh.
No, because if we charge money, they're going to say, oh, it's another organization that wants to charge money.
So basically, you work with the certifiers, and also you give accreditation that this is complies with those. So how this
basically, let's say, I don't want to repeat the food, but let's say you have a financial institution, and you are not only doing portfolio management, you're an expert. Let's say you deal with the Islamic Dow Jones Islamic Index, you deal with insurance, you deal with the retirement plans, you deal with RESP. You're a person, the go-to when it comes to investment Islamic. You come to us and say, this is what I do, this is what I do. So we review all of that. We may hire an expert if it's complicated, and then we get the report. We study all the transactions you do and all the venues you are, and then we analyze them and we give you our report. And then the report will be again brought in front of the fiqh majlis, discuss every aspect of your business, and then we say this business is halal because Mr. Nasser, all he does is purely halal, and he removed all the doubtful, not only the haram, the doubtful transactions. So now we build partnership with you. We say Nasser business is halal based on A, B, C, D, F, G, and then you're audited by us because you're working with us. Do we charge you money? You will pay for any expenses outside our services. So if we hire, let's say, an accountant or an expert to give us a report, you will have to pay that for you. But us, initially, we don't charge money because the idea is we don't want. I know you may wonder, how are we going to run an organization? Yes, we're trying to find ways. So we're going to ask for sponsorship, donations. We will have annual dinners, events. It will be open because this belongs to the community.
Another thing also I want to touch upon. You mentioned on your name, the last one is you said research and training. So you will also conduct research, and
I'm coming to that one. So we spoke about accreditation.
Yeah, we provide like a research document.
I'm coming to that one. I'm coming. Yeah. So basically, let's say accreditation. Halal certificate. There are only few halal, probably. So if we focus only accrediting halal certifiers, then we're another organization. Halal certifiers is only one aspect. But when we say accredited businesses, institution, part of them, if you are a halal certifier or you want to be halal certifier, you can come. There is a course, there is a training. So that's why there's an aspect of research and training. So let's say you want to become a certifier in halal, or you want to become let's say, a financial expert and you want a certification in halal transactions. We will train you. The research is for us as scholars of Islam and as subject experts, meaning you need to do research. Not everything is known. So even for us right now, we're studying, for instance, the control atmosphere system. They don't stun anymore with electricity. Very soon, the gas stunning. You know, they're using gas stunning. This is like very controversial. But right now, countries are moving into that. And in Canada, a lot of what you call halal places, they're not anymore electric stunning for the bird, for animal. It's gas stunning. Is that so? We're actually the fiqh majlis is studying. We're talking to a subject expert. We're talking about scientists, and it's been going on for more than 2 years. Another example: vaccine. We conducted meetings. You may see that there is a task force, Muslim task force, made of scholars and medical doctors. So you may see some on the social media where we actually went over the ingredients of the Pfizer vaccine and Moderna vaccine and this. So then there are also other processes. People go to medical, procedures. Some of them may not be Islamic. What makes it halal or haram? You understand? The halal and haram is a big. We still need to do research. We need to ask the doctors to educate us on the issue, because the fatwa doesn't belong to only to the faqih, to the person who he needs to know about the field. Sometimes half of the legal opinion comes from the expert. You need the subject experts, and that's why we're doing a lot of research. Actually, if you go to the website, you see a lot of topics we're publishing now to become reference for our Muslim population. Divorce issues. This is halal and haram issue. Nikah, divorce. The most problematic one is divorce. What about for women who cannot obtain their divorce? There is no Islamic qadi. There is no judge in Canada. She has to go to the Canadian. Would that divorce be considered Islamically? You cannot have dichotomy, two laws. How do we deal with this? These are the multitude of issues we're dealing with.
But I think this is great also, not only for the people who are working in the industry of halal, it's also for people who are here, like myself, for example. I get to be educated more about this halal fiqh or fiqh of halal and things like in that, because not because you are Muslim, it means you know about halal standard and halal procedures. The way I know when I was a kid, halal means just suck the meat, but there are way beyond. When I started to talk to you and talk to all the people in the industry, I become like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming confirmation. So I think this is going to be the springboard or the pivot point where we're going to start building something that is going to really, as you said, is going to help us have some kind of a bylaw or a standard that we can follow here in Canada, at least. As you said, everybody is going in different directions. Why can't we just bring everybody and have like a regulatory body or some kind of regulation unit within our industry to kind of educate, not only give accreditation. Before you give, we want to educate you, bring your staff, let us make a seminar. And I think this is giving me another ideas now. I'm thinking our conference, we should also add the training sessions. If somebody wants to get some hours for their license to be certifier, they can take it during the show. Because I do other shows, as you know, and many, architects or engineers, they come to our show and they take the hours. So that could be another idea. So I think this is something great. So
to add to explain it more for you,
yes,
in the past until recently, and you saw that in Minhas and in Turkey in many places, in order to be certified as Islamic when it comes to finance or different aspects, especially financial transactions, they are more than the food. You needed to go to Malaysia or another Muslim country to get certification. You don't have to do that anymore. We have already built the partnership. We have the full course. We have the full training. We have online unit.
So I don't have to travel all the way.
No more. So that money you're gonna spend now, you can take that course. Of course, the course you're gonna have to pay money. We have to pay the teachers. So that's another way for. It's not now, because I don't think we're gonna expect hundreds of people to come for training, but at least that's another income for the center to create that training, specific courses for training in the halal, specifically in your field. If you're in finance, if you're in tourism, if you're in cosmetics, if you're in fashion industry, if you're in clothing, if you're in traveling, if you're in many areas, so and more you'll see. Medical field is and plastic surgery and all of these things, unbelievable how much is needed. A lot of people actually come for questioning our medical doctors because the practice, what we call ethical medicine,
Yeah.
issues of practices, not only products, practices as well. Are they halal or haram? Can I do this? These are the things that we are looking to serve. It's not only halal food. Alhamdulillah, our certifiers are doing fantastic
Mashallah,
job,
yeah. Yes.
and they are doing, but unfortunately, it needs to be controlled because some people are certifying even non-halal food and putting it. So the halal consumer food is very vital. That's one aspect of it. But I don't want us to think that chart will be only by food, because we're not going to certify halal food. We're going to certify the certifiers.
No, but this is amazing. I think this is the way going forward from now on. I think that's what we should always be looking at these ideas, and I think everybody's going to be also happy to see something that actually be the umbrella of all these efforts that's happening. Dr. Salimi, before we end this, I wanted to know from you what the people now, if they want to sign up or how to be part of this. I know also I actually glanced through your website. I know you told me it's just a soft launch and you are working to add more things in it. But I noticed that you brought some of the high level, even medical doctors. I've seen scientists. I've seen so many from different aspects, not only a scholar of fiqh, or you brought some people who are actually professionals, like people who are on the field and working
We
in the,
call them subject experts.
mashallah. And I've seen that on your website. So you will be also bringing all that together and offering to the people who are interested in being part of this great organization. So if I want to, or all the listeners want to go and visit this website, they will go to.
We will launch. I would wait. We will launch, inshallah. We will launch this. We were hoping that your halal certification, I mean, Halal Expo is launched as soon as possible. But we would wait, hopefully, so we can come into your
That's it.
expo,
That's
and
it.
we are supporting you. So we'll be like what we call,
Principle. Yeah. It's
principal,
yeah.
and we would like to be there and partake in your programs to support you, because you are the hub. You're the one. You're going to be the Mecca for that. We are one part of it, but then you're the one who's bringing businesses. And we would like in your Halal Expo, inshallah, that anybody who will work with us, or vice versa, those who will come to your Halal Expo, inshallah, we will register with them on the Halal Expo. And that's the best deal, inshallah. I think
And
that
also the people, they have to, where we were trying to deliver here as a trade show organizer, not just an exhibition a booth. We want to deliver education. We want to educate people, train them, so that way it complements everything from the offerings and education. It goes hand in hand in every industry, not just halal. Because I deal with the kitchen and bath, I deal with other industry. They all need education. Halal also need education. We have to know what we're doing. You cannot just decide to launch halal products without knowing, the criteria, the standards of this, and how
uh,
it goes
I'm
about.
going to give you an example. Maybe your viewers can understand. There is a Muslim gentleman who actually imports clothing from overseas. And after looking, he says, I want to be certified halal. Now you would say, why clothing? And then when we looked, because some jackets, for instance, and some leather products actually from pig skin. So I can't certify him. So what he's doing now, he's going from the source, from the manufacturer. He's going to Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Pakistan is not an issue because it's a Muslim country, but
Nepal.
countries that are not Muslim, from Pakistan, he's going Sri Lanka, going to China, and he's redesigning the whole procedure from product manufacture, raw product manufacturing to the shops, halal. So this person will be certified by us.
MashaAllah, this is a great idea, and I think
So,
I think
now if people buy halal, of course that we want to support halal. Of course, there will be forces which will not like what we're doing. But this is something that Muslims need to be aware. When I go, I've been looking for omega-3 for months. I ran out of omega-3 personally, and I'm looking and I'm going because of COVID-19, the lockdown. I finally got through, but thank you because the in Iqbal Halal Food there was some kiosk there, and I managed to get it there because it's certified by
well,
ISNA,
I
and
just
also it's kosher.
just
So I
just to tell you, the Iqbal food products that you see, Mr. Iqbal came to the show and he saw
Yeah.
some products
Oh,
from.
he's a big support. I want to
So
support people like
he came to the show.
Iqbal, and he is support because people, Muslim people who are really have the interest of promoting halal, not only their business. It's okay, let them make money. We're happy, but multivitamin issue with COVID-19, a lot of multivitamin business has boomed. People want immunity; they want to boost their immunity. People with joint problems, they want a specific foods and oils. These things, a lot of it is not halal. So it's time now to go to the expo, see which one has what. You had the brother from the west, and he was from Calgary. He was selling, and he did the product. That person, I need to promote him because he is selling halal. And he's certified. I think he was certified by ISNA or HMA. At least now I can go and buy. We the chart, we will not go in. When I see product certified by organization I trust and I know, then I can. So the Muslim will have faith. Then you have housing. Right now we're working with major institutions. I can't disclose the names, and they are actually not only they're working, they're bringing millions of dollars for investment so they can have it available for halal mortgage. Still, all of it, but they are not getting the support. It's a lot. It is Halal Expo right now. You need to have those organizations, inshallah, and businesses. Is all this B2B will make your business. If we don't have a platform like Halal Expo and a center where we can get our accreditation, research, and training, then we can't grow the halal industry. But believe me, we're going to miss the train because the growth is imminent. It's happening, whether we like it. And we don't want somebody from outside our community to tell us what's halal or not.
MashaAllah, I think all these efforts are really great. I think always you should be grateful for, and I think we are moved in a very drastic manner. We moved to the very high pace. I think comparing to the previous years, I think we can say we are maturing as we go. Not yet, but we are getting there. We are moving in the right direction. I think if we continue the same efforts, if we keep the same pace, I think we can exceed what's really happening now, and we can exceed our expectation for having a good halal living in Canada and beyond. And I think this is what we all want for us and for our children and for our grandchildren as well.
What some of your non-Muslim viewers may say, well, we have always some people anti-Muslim, anti-halal. Anything we try to do to organize ourselves, they are this. But, if we keep listening to them, we will never do anything. But we have to protect halal. Halal will have a positive effect on Canada. Recently had a meeting with an organic food production company, and they're big. They're big. But they really want to tap in the Muslim market. And believe me, they're the closest, the way they treat the animal, the way they prepare, they feed the animal, the way they do this, the way they process their food, and the way they do all of this. When you look at them, they're like 90% Islamic. All they need to do is, honestly, is just to their ingredients are most of them halal because natural. They don't use no animal products ingredients in their spices and this when they process the food. But their meat, their this, and they saw that the only way for them to grow is for someone who has a specific diet regulation, you know. And that's the Jewish community and Muslim community. They want to work with us, you know. They're approaching the vegans, the vegetarians, the kosher consumer, the halal consumer.
Yeah.
And but they are investing millions of dollars. So in the meeting, I was so impressed with their they want to see the Halal Expo. They actually want to come to your Halal Expo. I'm just discussing with them.
I've been approached by a number of different.
Yeah, I'm just discussing with them few hiccups here and there because, you know, they want to go. They're organic, of course. They have meat products, but they want to really invest in the halal. That's number one. Number two, Canada has the potential to be the capital of farming and food in the world.
Yeah, just
it
like
has the highest or the largest water resources, clean water. It has lands. We want to sell Canada. We want to promote Canada. We want to bring investment. You and I saw in our presentation in Istanbul 2 years ago. You and I, less than 2 years, a year and a half ago. It was in when we were there, late November 2019. When remember when they were asking about what opportunities are there in Canada? We told them we are the largest producer of corn, wheat, soya, this. They said this is the food we eat, and livestock. We want to attract, but the question is, are these things halal? You know, this is where you're coming, and your viewers need to understand, including non-Muslim viewers, that the world needs to eat, and Canada can feed.
You know,
but you have 2 billion Muslim who can eat, can buy from Canada. But the problem is they need someone to make it halal. Not only that, food, investment, jobs. We have empty lands in the prairies. We need investment. We need to create jobs. Canada cannot live without immigration, you know, and these immigrants. So all of these things have to be put together in the Halal Expo. So your viewers, your clients need to understand that the potential you're giving them is the sky is your limit. But my interest is the halal, to protect the halal.
Yeah, I think major companies, recent companies of meat like Maple Leaf and Maple Lodge, already taken the initiative some years ago, and they expanded their halal products like amazing, you know, growth in the last few years. You can see it everywhere now, all the halal products from Maple Leaf and Maple Lodge. So there are much growth in that area, and I think all the companies are following slowly. Like we have companies like Bison Burger, if you remember, from Quebec. They're coming back to the show again because they see the potential of halal. Their company like Sun Meats in Calgary. All these companies are realizing how important. But as you said, we need to start looking at why Australia and New Zealand, you know, have much more production to export than we do. We have, as you said, the clean water, we have the facility, we have the land, we have the best quality meat. Why we cannot look at the outside market? I think it slowly is getting there, but we got to move a bit faster. As you said, educating the international coming to our show to see the potential, and hopefully this will translate to a growth for the international.
So like we discussed, maybe in your the chairman of the advisory board of Halal Expo, we are suggesting to bring more international exhibitors, so they can see what Canada can offer. That's number one. Number two, we need to bring more companies who are working in the financial world, you know, investment. And you did last time, you featured quite a few, but we need more. Also, we need to bring more medical experts, medical field, pharmaceutical companies to be there. Right now, thanks to many things, you know, including, you know, people becoming health conscious and then becoming vegetarian, and that's a lot of doubt about some products has been cleared vegetarian and vegan can actually be halal, especially the vegan, because of no animal products. Those companies have to be there, even if they're not branded as halal, but they do sell halal products. They're actually halal is the open world. Halal is the majority. Haram is the limit. So we should not understand only those who are certified with a stamp. If their food is this, has no haram, then it's halal. I mean, we shouldn't make it difficult.
Inshallah. Dr. Salimi, I just, I know we can go on this because it's a great topics and a great discussion that we had today. But I think we're running out of time, and but I will definitely leave the opportunity for the listeners when they watch our video to put their questions, and I will personally take it to Dr. Salimi for answers. I also wanted to thank you, Dr. Salimi, for taking the time from your busy schedule. I know you get multiple hats, and you're doing so many things in the same time. You're trying to find the time for us, and I appreciate that. And I thank you so much again. And we wish you all the best on this great initiative that you're doing, the Halal Centre for Halal Accreditation and Research and Training, a chart that's about to be launched very soon. We are excited to see it in a part of our show, and definitely would love to partner with you guys and join these efforts to further support that industry that is growing in a very fast pace. Thanks again, Dr. Salimi.
Thank you for having me, and all the best. And inshallah, we pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect you and take away this pandemic, and we can go back to some kind of normal, so we can, inshallah, focus on serving the halal, all of us in different ways. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.